Okay, it is Monday morning and it's about 6:30 a.m. I'm heading over to the shred zone. I've got to turn out some lights here. And conditions are not that great, but it'll be kind of interesting to get there early before anyone is in the water, or to see how early people get in the water. Normally this is the place where I roll the surf montage, but actually let me explain what happened. So I got out here and I noticed that the waves were only breaking in one place, and there was like 20 people out there. And I felt like, am I ready to go out, paddle out into the lineup of all experienced surfers? And I just was like, that's the only wave breaking, so I'm going for it. So I went out there, but I put my GoPro down, I folded it down so like I didn't turn it on, and I caught 2 of the best waves that I've ever had. And then that gave me some confidence, and then I turned on my camera and I caught 1 wave, which wasn't as good. I'll roll that right now. And then I saw my friend Lawrence up at the north end of the beach, and I went up there. The waves were crappy and closing out, and so I went over the falls, and I'll roll that now. Anyway, overall, kind of a breakthrough day. Like, I was out in the lineup and I felt totally confident out there. I think having, you know, like being a strong paddler really helps, because you can move around and you get more waves. And then, you know, you get more waves, you get more respect. Two days ago, I was out here and I was carrying my board out to the water. I was actually walking through the wet sand, and I felt this sharp, stinging pain in the arch of my foot. And I think I got stung by a bee, and my foot is still kind of swollen, but now it's getting itchy. Yow. All right, so time for a little progress report regarding my show. Okay, so what I do is I take the paintings that are finished and I set them in their frames, and that gives me an idea of how many I've got finished and then how many more I've got to work on. And here's a couple more. These are finished, but they just need signatures. All right, so if you watched my video yesterday, you know that all my batteries died and I wasn't able to finish the questions. I still have 3 left. So question number 11. Do you always paint the sides of your canvases black, and have you ever tried any other colors? I do paint the sides of all of my canvases black because I frame them in floater frames, and sometimes when a painting is in a floater, if you look at it from the side, you can see the edge of the canvas, and if there's like paint drips on there, or if the canvas, obviously the canvas is usually white, so it kind of stands out, doesn't look so good. Painting the edge of the canvas black makes for a really nice clean finish. So I typically do that. And I have not tried any other colors. There's been times when I'm not going to frame the painting that I'll paint, like I've kind of wrapped the image around the edges, but I'm not crazy about that look because it makes it look almost like a giclée, which is like it's like a print on canvas. And typically with giclées, I think they do that where the image just wraps right around the corner. So anyway, I always paint it black, and I always frame in natural wood floater frames. That's it. Question number 12, do you check to make sure your store-bought canvases are square before painting on them? No, I don't, although that's a really good idea. You know, I just usually assume that the canvases are going to be a little bit out of square, and I have some tricks that that I use to kind of bring the canvases back into square. And it's only been a problem one time. I bought some canvases from Jerry's Artorama, and they were Centurion linen canvases. They were 30 by 30s, and I actually did 3 paintings on these canvases, and I went to frame them, and they were really out of square, like really out of square. And so my normal tricks weren't working. But anyway, I did eventually get it to work. And the reason it's really important is because, again, I'm framing in floater frames, so you can actually see, you know, the canvas in the frame. And if the frame is perfectly square and the canvas isn't, then the space that's around the edge will not be uniform, and it just won't look good. But again, I have tricks for that, you know, for correcting for that, which is kind of complicated to explain, but maybe, you know, in prepping for the show, I can actually cover that. So if that sounds interesting, let me know down below. Let's see. And the final question, number 13, how deep are you when you're catching waves? So when I first started, I was surfing smaller waves, and I was inside, closer to the beach, you know, maybe like 50 feet off the beach, off, you know, the sand or whatever. And at that point, the water is probably chest high. And now I'm out the back surfing the bigger waves, which is out beyond the breakers. You're wading out beyond the breaking waves, and you're trying to get on them before they break. And so that's usually about 200 or 300 feet offshore. And I would say that the water out there is probably, it's like about 6 to 10 feet deep. So it's not like super deep, but yeah, definitely deeper than inside. And when I was surfing inside, like closer to the beach, I often wouldn't be on my board. I'd just be like walking around, and then when a wave would come, I'd jump on it, paddle, and I'd get on it. But when you're out the back, you got to kind of you're on your board the whole time. So yeah, but you know, I'm not sure. I think 6 to 10 feet, but maybe one of these times I'll dive down to the bottom and see how deep it is, and then I'll report back to you guys. Anyway, so that's it for today. I'm just going to get back to work doing some touch-ups. Nothing too exciting, but as usual, thanks for hanging out, guys, and I will see you in the next video.